Thank you very much, Madam Chair. Salam alaikum, bonjour, good afternoon. It is my pleasure to be a panelist. This is very, very important panel this afternoon on this topic about preventing maternal death in developing countries. And I'm very happy that WHO is able to communicate on this important issue. I will not repeat the figures that was smartly provided by our keynote speaker, and thank you very much. But I will start by this figure, which says that every day 830 women die of preventable causes related to pregnancy and childbirth. It means that during this session in the world, 50 women died because of pregnancy and childbirth. And this is really a public health scandal because it is preventable. Reducing maternal mortality is one of the major challenges to health systems worldwide, more so in developing countries that account for nearly 95% of the maternal deaths, and including 2/3 are in the African regional, the WHO region. And deaths are due mainly to bleeding, eclampsia, sepsis, unsafe abortion, and complications during delivery. And most of these causes are avoidable as medical responses to prevent or treat complications are well known. WHO is committed to leaving no one behind and preventing all preventable maternal and child death. But maternal mortality reduction is challenging. Very few countries in the Afro and Eastern Mediterranean region were able to achieve MDG 5 of improving maternal health. Between 19 and 2015, maternal mortality ratio decreased by 44%, not by 66% at global level, 54% in EMRO, and 49% in Afro. Maternal mortality has been reduced from a goal in the Millennium area to a target under SDG 3, which aim at reducing by 2030 the global maternal mortality to 70 per 100,000 live births. But to be moved from a goal to a target, it is easy for countries to pay less attention to the issue and still achieve other health targets, and this is an issue. Maternal mortality reduction is more than a health system issue. It is a product of social, economic, and political beliefs and systems. And even there is documented evidence on effects of maternal death on catastrophic payments and reduced household income and risk to fall into poverty traps. So the link between maternal health and maternal death and development is quite clear in both sense. There is an impact of development of maternal health, but also an impact of maternal health on development. In the new General Program of Work, GPW 13 of WHO, WHO continues to target both the health and non-health issues. Maternal health is part of all the 3 billion. So I don't know if many of you are familiar with the 3 billions that have been proposed by the Director General, Dr. Tedros Ghebreyesus, the Director General of WHO, and you know that the new global program of work of WHO is focused on 3 targets, 3 billion. The first billion is 1 billion more people benefiting from universal health coverage. The second billion is 1 billion more people better protected from health emergencies. And the third billion is 1 billion more people enjoying better health and well-being, and this target is for 2023. So let's look at these 3 billion. Under universal health coverage, maternal health is a component of the basic benefits package of services. Improving maternal health is still requiring skilled birth attendants, and we have had some information about the link between pregnancy and the link between skilled birth attendants and the quality of the pregnancy. Strong family planning programs, access to basic and comprehensive obstetric care, as well as comprehensive postpartum care. And universal coverage for maternal health means also to promote specific provisions to protect families accessing emergency obstetric and newborn care from financial catastrophe. For the second million, the million of emergency, under emergency maternal health, in collaboration with partners such as UNFPA and others on the ground, is given very special attention in order to continue to provide services for mothers as well as special services to women who suffer from epidemics such as Ebola in the Democratic Republic of Congo or cholera in Yemen. And under the third billion, which is 1 billion more people enjoying better health and well-being, through targeting the social determinant of health, gender, health promotion, health in all policies, and looking at the effects of climate change, air pollution, and access to clean water, WHO targets women of all ages to ensure better health and well-being. WHO has always been participating in the African Continent Cross Initiative to improve maternal health, including the campaign to accelerate the reduction of maternal mortality in Africa, improving the management of obstetric fistula, including the support to institutions in Ethiopia and Sudan, and efforts to improve the health of mothers led by the African Union and the African Health Plan 2063. WHO ensures that maternal health is completely integrated in all these commitments. Additionally, WHO launched during the World Health Assembly this year, in May 2018, a package for midwifery education that was endorsed by all partners. WHO announced next year as the year of the nurse and midwife to emphasize the need for providing support and opportunities to midwives to continue their efforts to improve maternal health. The African continent is facing many challenges related to access, quality of care, numbers and distribution of midwives, and healthcare spending on essential care in general and maternal and child care in particular. Additionally, the levels of education, poverty, emerging epidemics, the prevalence of female genital mutilation, and gender inequities are major and continuous threats. Hence, South-South collaboration, which is a topic that we are supposed to discuss, South-South collaboration among countries becomes an efficient way of working and not a luxury. There are successful experiences in each country that can be used as examples for others. Example of community health worker in Ethiopia, for example, the management of obstetric fistula in Sudan, the collaboration with civil society to improve access to maternity care in Djibouti, the assessment of quality of maternities in Tunisia, the work done to reduce female genital mutilation in Senegal, or the reduction of maternal mortality in Morocco. Those are very few examples, and we can find examples everywhere in every country around Africa and in the world. To conclude, I call upon you to look at maternal mortality as a social challenge, not merely a health one. Its causes as well as its implications are negative to the society, and it is our responsibility to make the world safe for women to be pregnant, deliver, and enjoy both health and well-being. I thank you for your attention.